Pimples and Popples, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a quick teeny wrap up because I only read like 5 books last month, and that's okay. You know what? This will be my first video under 10 minutes. Fingers crossed. My first video actively talking about books. I think my plant video was like 3. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get into the few books I read last month. Reading off my phone as per usual because I don't have that great of a memory, but also a lot of these were on Kindle, so I also don't have the physical books to remind me. The first book I read, and we are going to put them over here. The first book I read was Toilet Bound Hanukkah by Durrell, and I gave it 3 stars. I didn't feel strongly about this book. I didn't particularly like it, but I didn't particularly dislike it either. I liked the art style, but not necessarily, and I liked the worlds, and I liked the story overall, but 2 out of the 3 main characters were very annoying for me, so it really messed up my enjoyment of what I was reading. So yeah, that was a 3 star. But I think other people would enjoy it. So I'm just really picky. But I thought it was pretty good manga. I don't think I'm going to continue with the series. I might read 1 more just to be sure how I feel. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be my speed. The next one I read was a short story from the Forward series on Amazon Prime. You can read them for free if you want to. And it is Emergency Skin by N.K. Jemisin. And this follows a person from the future. They lived on a planet where all the 1% moved after they deemed the Earth uninhabitable, but they need something from the Earth in order to sustain life on the new planet, and so they occasionally send someone back. And so we are following one of the people that they send back, and when they're first sent back, they're more of a consciousness. They don't actually have a physical form in the way that humans would identify, and this is them discovering what happened to the Earth after that 1% left, and then discovering their own autonomy, and then making the choice of how they want to move forward after that. Gave it 3 stars. I liked it. I didn't necessarily like the narrative style, but again, I'm picky. But the story itself was really good and really immersive, and I was invested the entire way through, and I would encourage you to read it. I think N.K. Jemisin is great. Next book was also part of the Forward series, and this is Summer Frost by Blake Crouch, and we are following a web designer. At the beginning of the book, it's a game, so I think it's a game designer, but I don't know if a game designer, don't quote me. We're following a game designer, and one of his characters in the game, who their AI has started to gain autonomy, and so they want to study it, and so you're following this developer and that AI as they discover their sentience. I gave it a 3 star. I liked it enough. The story was fine. The characters were not my jam. But I did enjoy it, and I thought it was really interesting to look at what it might mean, what AI might be, though it did seem though once you get to the ending is a little formulaic, like it's what you're expecting, but I still enjoyed it. I read it in a single night, so like that's not horrible. The next book I read, I do have a physical copy of. It is Compost City, Practical Composting Know-How for Small Space Living, and this is by Rebecca Louie, and I read this because I'm interested in composting. It's really fucking... I didn't rate it because it's more of a reference book than anything else. I didn't feel like this is the kind of book I need to rate. I find the information interesting. This is very good a starter book for people who are looking to compost, such as myself. I don't think it gives you like super in-depth knowledge, but I didn't expect it to. It's supposed to give you like those basics so you can start building your own compost. And it gives you several different techniques and stuff that you can use for a variety of spaces, like if you happen to live in a home, if you happen to live in an apartment. So it gives you different types of, first it breaks down what is composting, the different types of composting, because there's quite a few, and then different ways you can compost within those types. And so I find it very interesting. I have a lot of tabs in here. I plan to implement some of these sometime this summer, hopefully, fingers crossed. It depends on how both my finances, the world, and my space does, because the thing about compost is if you do it wrong, it can get really smelly really quickly, and I live in 400 square feet. This is not the time for smelly things, you know? The next book I read was Skullfaced bookseller Honda-san by Honda, and I did not rate this book because I did not think any rating I gave it would be fair. I enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed, from what I understand, I remember I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the illustrations, but something about it was unable to grip me. I could not pay attention to this book very closely. Like, if you asked me to tell you what happened, because it was a series of like vignettes in this bookseller's life, I don't have anything for you. I don't know. So I don't feel comfortable rating it because I feel like it wouldn't be fair. I don't remember enough of it to rate it. So no rating. But if you want to read it, read it. It's got vignettes in it. So the last book I managed to read in April is Days Volume 1 by Tsuyoshi Yasuda, and I am invested. That being said, I'm also extremely biased. Days is one of my favorite anime, and I was like, oh my god, I love it so much, I should read the manga. And I am reading it, and it's amazing. I just bought the second volume, and I'm ready for it. They're digital copies. I need to buy the physical one soon. Have both, why not? It's so good if you like sports anime. I don't like actual sports, but if you like sports anime / manga, it's so good. I do understand that a lot of people don't like the main character, Tsukishi, but I don't get it because he's so adorable. And I like reading the manga as well as watching the anime because the way they are presented and their personifications are a little bit different. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but I'm just saying, if you like the anime, maybe read the manga because they're good. They're good. Anyway, those were the books I read in April. If you have read any of these or you're interested in reading any of these, let me know. Anyway, thank you for visiting me again. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!